TGON and AspMedia brings you Asphere's Cafe. The cafe is now open.
Hello everyone, and yes, we are back with another episode of Asphere's Cafe. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, and yes, we are yet with another round of Tech Cafe right here on Asphere's Cafe because you know what day it is today? It is Tech Tuesdays. So, how are you all doing? How are you all doing so far? And how is your day? So, again, as I have mentioned yesterday, Dreamcar is still absent on my show. So, again, he is still taking an indefinite break from my show until further notice. So, I do not know when he's going to return to my show. But as I have mentioned last time, I'll do my best to cover on what I can discuss on my show. So, yeah. Without any further ado now, let's dive into right away with our tech cafe. So let's head over to my private server and see what is in the tech this or today. So let's check what we have here. Okay, so this is a huge deal because looks like Sony's TV business is being taken over by TCL. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Sony is or announced plans or has announced plans to spin off their TV division and which means the new TV division itself will now be handled by TCL. So what does that mean, right? So let's get into that right now, and this is coming from The Verge, and I need to check if it's still a paywall because again I'm having issues with scrolling because as far as I'm concerned, The Verge is a paywall website, but as long as I am refreshing it many times, it will work. So yeah. Now, let's get my screen share up so you all can see what I am talking about because the first topic for today in this episode is pretty interesting. So, you will get to see that right now. Alright, so here it is. This is coming from The Verge as I have mentioned. Yes, you heard that right. As Sony has announced plans to spin off its TV hardware business, shifting it to a new joint venture with TCL. The two companies have signed a non-binding agreement for Sony's home entertainment business, with TCL set to hold a 51% stake in the new venture and Sony holding 49%. With this partnership, TCL is elevating itself into the premium television landscape after innovating with leading technology over the last few years. Sony and TCL are aiming to finalize binding agreements by the end of March and start operating the new joint company in April 2027, subject to regulatory approvals and other partnership conditions. The new company is expected to retain Sony and Bravia branding for its future products and will handle global operations from product development and design to manufacturing, sales, and logistics for TVs and home audio equipment. Sony says that the partnership will leverage Sony's picture and audio tech, brand value, supply chain management, and other operational expertise. This will combine with TCL's own display technology, which vertical supply chain strength, global market presence, and end-to-end cost efficiency. In the announcement, Sony CEO Kimio Maki states that combining the two companies will allow Sony and TCL to create new customer value in the home entertainment field, delivering even more captivating audio and visual experiences to customers worldwide. TCL chairperson TGON says that under the new venture, TCL expects to elevate our brand value, achieve greater scale, and optimize the supply chain in order to deliver superior products and services to our customers. So one thing's for sure is the prospect of cheaper Bravia TVs built with excellent Sony image processing and leading TCL tech is certainly compelling. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you have heard it right, Sony's TV division, not to be confused with the production division, but the television division that is under home entertainment category is going to be taken over by TCL. So whatever happens to their brand new TVs, well, we had to see that. But I'm pretty sure, as they have mentioned earlier, that their new joint venture company will be up by next year. That is around March 2027. So, what do you think about TCL taking over Sony's TV business? Let us know in the comment section down below. And to our fellow Discord audiences, what is your thoughts on Sony? Oh, sorry, not Sony. On TCL taking over TCL. Sorry, on Sony's TV business being taken over by TCL. There you go. That's how I should say that. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts, because to me this is really a big deal. Because Sony has been leading the TV market for so long, and even TCL has been getting into the market very lately, especially the affordable TVs. The sales have been doing well, particularly, and now TCL is very interested. So, well, this is going to be a new chapter for TCL's TV business right here. Well, okay, so Racer has has left a comment. We'll read it to you out loud here. So, well, another Chinese company is taking over a Japanese TV business. Seems pretty bizarre, but hopefully this will kickstart a new beginning for Bravia. Yeah, I can say the same for Tour Racer, because you will never know what's going to happen, because TCL's innovative tech has been around for quite some time now, and now that they're going to be taking over by next year, yeah, this is going to be a very interesting for a new chapter for Bravia. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how this will be going by next year. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, and let's see what else do I have here in my feed. Okay, so our next topic is well, NVIDIA is preparing for multiple ARM-based chips for 2026 and 2027, and it could debut with Windows 11 26H1 with its first gen chips. So this is coming from Windows Latest, which is my go-to website for everything Windows related. NVIDIA hasn't given up on its plans to ship a Windows on ARM chip this year. Supply chain sources claim NVIDIA is still planning a Windows on ARM chip with N1X-based laptops expected as early as first quarter of 2026. It will likely come with Windows 11 26H1 out of the box, as Windows Latest previously reported that this particular OS release is for New Silicon. So as you are seeing in the screenshot, it does show the build number around 28,000. Yeah, so if I go check my current build of mine, I am currently around 26,200. While in the newer one, yeah, that could be a brand new build, as I'm seeing here. But again, this is exclusive to New Silicon. So a DigiTimes report based on supply chain chatter says NVIDIA is trying to expand beyond GPUs and push deeper into PCs, especially Windows on ARM laptops. The same roadmap also talks about newer chips after N1, N1X, moving toward N2 and N2X in 2027. NVIDIA has not confirmed these timelines and usually avoids commenting on supply chain leaks. So, what are N1 and N1X NVIDIA AI PC chips? Well, while N1 is likely for desktops, N1X is for notebooks, and NVIDIA reportedly plans to announce N1X-based laptops running Windows 11 26H1 in first quarter by the end of March 2026. Initially, NVIDIA is focusing on consumer models, but there are plans for other variants, and we could see those PCs in the second quarter of 2026. So for your reference, you can see there is a firmware benchmark showing the score itself and the highest FPS frames per second achieved. And as you can see, the GPU is under NVIDIA Tegra, and yeah, so this is the first time that NVIDIA is producing CPU chips. So if you are aware by now, NVIDIA is known for producing GPUs along with AI chips as well. So I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with the GPUs, and now they're entering the consumer CPU market. So back to the topic, N1X isn't just a rumor because Nvidia is already using it in GTX Spark. The report says GTX Spark is based on N1X and it includes the GB10 superchip with 128 gigabytes of unified memory. Supply chain sources also claim the same N1X platform will appear in Windows on ARM laptops as early as first quarter of 2026, including consumer models. So multiple OEMs, such as Acer, Asus, Dell, Gigabyte, HP, Lenovo, and MSI, are reportedly building their own DGX Spark systems. According to TG Times, Nvidia's N1X notebooks were supposed to debut in late 2025, but they were pushed to 2026 due to Microsoft OS timing. It appears that TG Times is referring to recent platform changes, which will begin shipping with Windows 11 26H1 in the coming months. So once again, for those who are unaware, Microsoft officially confirmed that Windows 11 26H1 is for new silicon, but it never said whether it's only for Snapdragon X2 PCs. So now that's been cleared up that it's not just for Snapdragon, but for Windows on ARM chips in general. So, or I should say the newer PCs running Windows on ARM. Alright, so Microsoft noted in a blog post published in November 2025 stating 26H1 is not a feature update for version 25H2 and only includes platform changes to support specific silicon. So that's correct. So it is not a major update, but it does bring to the new build that are designed exclusively for new Windows on ARM chips. Well, I do believe that 26H2 is still coming out around in late 2026. 26H1 is only going to be exclusive for newer PCs running Windows on ARM. So 26H1 does not have exclusive features, but it's based on a new platform release, which means it could include N1X and Snapdragon X2 related optimizations. So there you go. As they stated right here, it does not have new should I say they do not have exclusive features, so there's nothing special with that version. The report also claims that N1X chips were delayed due to weaker or uncertain notebook demand, memory supply, and pricing problems, which matter a lot for unified memory designs. Either way, it looks almost certain we will see Nvidia's first ARM-based laptops in 2026. More importantly, Nvidia is also working on N2 and N2X, which would be the next generation, with products launching starting around the third quarter of 2027. So there is that. So Nvidia is really going to be entering into Windows on ARM market alongside with Snapdragon and MediaTek. And well, I was not expecting Nvidia, the huge company that produces GPUs and AI chips for AI companies, to start producing Windows on ARM chips. So this is going to be a huge thing for Windows on ARM, and hopefully the more optimizations and improved performance for Windows on ARM with Windows 11. We'll see how that goes, but from the just of it, now we know that more and more are building their products to run Windows on ARM, and I'd say that is a good thing. Despite all of the hate AI train, which is known for Copilot, and of course Microsoft forcing AI on its operating system, yeah. Despite the hate train, we do know that Windows on ARM is starting to look good at least. So what are your thoughts on Nvidia entering Windows on ARM market with its N1 and N1X chips? Let us know in the comment section down below. And let's move on to another Windows news, and it does look like Microsoft has finally edited out the ad from last year, and they removed Google Chrome from the taskbar. So as you are seeing in the headline right there, Microsoft's Windows 11 ad accidentally promoted Google Chrome, then quietly edited after people noticed it. So last December 23, 2025, Microsoft posted an ad on YouTube titled Windows 11 is the home of gaming, but little did they realize that we will zoom in on the Chrome icon pinned to the taskbar. Well, after Windows' latest coverage, Microsoft quietly edited the ad, removing Google's browser from the taskbar and showing Edge instead. So you can see this is prior to the edit. You can tell that the Chrome browser was pinned, yet they didn't notice. Now, if you go to today, this is how it looks like today. While retaining the same video URL, they were able to replace the original copy with a new copy, removing the Google Chrome icon from the taskbar, while keeping the same video ID. And keep that in mind, only bigger channels can replace a video with a newer copy while retaining the same URL, while retaining the same video ID and the comments and the likes and dislikes. So this is how it looks like now, showing Copilot 365 and Microsoft. Is it Microsoft 365? Yeah. So so on the taskbar you see Microsoft 365 Copilot, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Edge, Xbox, Microsoft Store, Outlook, and PowerPoint. You don't get to see Chrome icon pinned into the taskbar anymore. So, as they mentioned, all Microsoft properties consistently nudged users to keep using Microsoft Edge rather than Chrome, so the ad never made sense, of course. So, well, little did they know that they eventually found the mistake and they finally edited it out. So yeah, if you haven't seen the ad from last year, that while they had the Google Chrome pinned there, I think you should check this blog post out right now. And in fact, I have already discussed this before on my show. I believe this was around last year, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, in case you missed it, go watch it while you can right now. But yeah, this is a saved copy from their archives, showcasing Google Chrome pin there. Yep, right here. As you can see, there is Google Chrome pin right there. But now that's been edited out. And little did I notice that it is not well edited as well. Pretty much self-explanatory, right? Like even the ad is kinda in a rough shape, but at least they eventually caught one. So there's that. Alright, let's move on to another one. Actually, before we head to commercial break, we will have one more topic and then we will be taking a break. So let's head over to my private server and see what else we have here. Alright, so let's move on to OpenAI now, and their goal for 2026 or focus is practical adoption. And before I scroll down, let me check if it's paywall. It is paywall. I'll just keep refreshing. I'll just keep refreshing. Yeah, it's pretty short. But yeah, as you can see, their focus this 2026 for OpenAI is practical adoption. That is according to Chief Financial Officer Sarah Ferrar from OpenAI. So as the company spends a huge amount of money on infrastructure, OpenAI is working on closing the gap on what AI can do and how people actually use it. So this is what they said with the quote: "The opportunity is large and immediate, especially in health, science, and enterprise, where better intelligence translates directly into better outcomes." End quote. Much of the blog post titled "A Business That Scales with the Value of Intelligence" is about how OpenAI has evolved since it launched ChatGPT and how it has scaled up its business. The company's weekly active user and daily active user metrics continue to produce all-time highs thanks to a flywheel across compute, frontier research, products, and monetization, according to Asphere. However, the company is also investing a lot on infrastructure, having made about $1.4 trillion in infrastructure commitments as of November of last year. And as I talked about it on my show yesterday, they will be bringing they are bringing ads to ChatGPT for both free and Go plans, as well as launching the ChatGPT Go paid subscription, which also includes ads. So, where OpenAI's business model goes next will extend beyond what we already saw. This is what Asphere has to say. Let's read the statement. As intelligence moves into scientific research, drug discovery, energy systems, and financial modeling, new economic models will emerge. Licensing, IP-based agreements, and outcome-based pricing will share in the value created. That is how the internet evolved. Intelligence will follow the same path. The system requires discipline. Securing world-class compute requires commitments made years in advance, and growth does not move in a pretty smooth line. At times, capacity leads usage. At other times, usage leads capacity. We manage that by keeping the balance sheet light, partnering rather than owning, and structuring contracts with flexibility across providers and hardware types. Capital is committed in trenches against real demand signals. That lets us lean forward when growth is there without locking in more of the future than the market has earned. That is the full statement that we just read. Perhaps some of the practical adoption for ChatGPT could come in the form of the hardware devices OpenAI is building in partnership with Johnny Ive, with the first device potentially being shown off later this year. So that is their focus for this year. Practical adoption for OpenAI. So what do you think about their current goals as far as we are concerned? Do you think this is a good idea? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. And to our Discord audiences, do you think OpenAI's focus this year is a good idea? Focusing on practical adoption? That I would love to know. Alright, yeah, feel free to leave your comments on to those who are on Discord audience right now. Feel free to leave your thoughts on OpenAI's focus for this year, that is practical adoption. So yeah, we have and actually I would like to shout out to all of you who are on Discord audience right now. We have Leon, Reggie Jr., and to Racer. Shout out to all of you who are stopping by to my cafe tonight. So thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you all. Alright, so while I wait for or at least Star Racer or anyone who is interested in leaving their comment, we are live on Cool FM and Asphere Radio, as well as on social media platforms on Facebook such as TGON Cool FM Manila, and of course our own YouTube channel, which is on Asphere's Cafe AspMedia. So there you go. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with my AnyTask. I don't know why, but might have to adjust something for a moment. But yeah. So while I prepare for commercial break, later in the cafe, I will be once again be checking out what's on Reddit, and of course we will continue to discuss what's cooking in the tech industry as well. So if you can give me a moment or two. Alright. So yeah, if no one's leaving our thoughts, then I can safely turn off my screen share in the meantime, because we will now be taking a break. It is now 6:56 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, and we have a lot to talk about right here on Asphere's Cafe. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back after these messages. But first, our family sponsors, we have Delson, Asphere Appliances, Dream Cars Pizza, Capinoy Coffee, Centron Simplus, Multimart, and Always Grocery. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after these messages. So stay along with us right here on Cool FM and Ask Radio. We will be right back. We are back. It is now 7:07 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, and yes, we are still around right here on Asphere's Cafe. And now let's continue with another round of Tech Cafe right here on Asphere's Cafe. Okay, so we are into the first round of smartphone news, and starting off, it looks like iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max to feature advanced LTPO Plus OLED displays. So this is coming from GSM Arena, as the new report coming from ET News Supply Chain sources says that Apple is planning to introduce advanced LTPO Plus OLED panels with the upcoming iPhone 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max models. In addition to the supposedly more energy efficient nature of LTPO Plus displays, they will also allow Apple to put the IR scanner used for Face ID behind the display. Moreover, some people familiar with the matter suspect that Apple will also move the selfie camera behind the screen without compromising quality. Interestingly, this would push the Chinese panel maker BOE out of Apple's supply chain for the Pro models, as only LG and Samsung can produce LTPO Plus OLED screens. BOE might still produce panels for the non-Pro models though. The report also suggests that Apple will incorporate LTPO Plus panels in its redesigned M6 MacBook Pro. So, that is the latest rumor for the iPhone 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max. As we know that now that the space will have LTPO Plus OLED displays. Man, this is what we can expect for its upcoming iPhone. So yeah, that will be interesting to see the least. On to the next one, coming from 9to5 Google. It looks like Honor has introduced Magic 8 Pro Air, and it is kind of a blunt copy of the iPhone Air. That's what 9to5 Google says. Oh my gosh, let me just mute the group chat because I'm in the middle of the show. I don't want to focus on the conversation, so I'm muted for 3 hours, and then I'm going to market the stream. Okay, so let's read coming from 9to5 Google. It's no secret that some Android OEMs love to use Apple's overall design ethos as inspiration when launching new products, whether that be an OS redesign or a new piece of hardware. Even so, Honor's latest phone might just score the top spot among unabashed clones, all while falling short of the only metric that makes the iPhone Air appealing in its first place. So, Honor's Magic 8 Pro Air is official as spotted by GSM Arena, and at first glance it sure does look like an iPhone Air knockoff in more than a few crucial ways. Well, personally, for their opinions, they would go one step further. Honor's latest flagship actually manages to look like every current gen iPhone consolidated into a single device with very little of its own identity. Place it next to last year's Magic 8 Pro, and they're not even sure even the most dedicated Honor fans would confidently claim both devices carry the same brand. So yeah, you can actually tell it does look very similar to iPhone Air. So at its core, the Magic 8 Pro Air looks the most like the iPhone Air, obviously, featuring a slim build, a wide pill-shaped camera module, and a large circular casing for its main sensor. Honor has managed to build in a few distinctions between its devices and Apple's though, including 2 additional sensors with a 64 megapixel periscope telephoto lens and a 50 megapixel ultra-wide placed in a very pixel askew fashion. The Magic 8 Pro also managed to bundle in a 5,500 mAh silicon carbide battery, though it comes at a cost of a bulkier 6.1mm chassis, a half millimeter increase from the iPhone Air's 5.6mm build. The rest of Honor changes though, all essentially spawned from Apple's other iPhones. The orange colorway is the most notable example, and it is obviously reminds me of iPhone 17 Pro color. Oh my gosh, which is an obvious play on the iPhone 17 Pro's marquee hue. Having spent a week walking around CES earlier this one from its 9to5 Google team, they can tell you that orange shade is immensely popular this year. It's a shame companies like Honor weren't brave enough to try it out on their own. The flat matte size on the Magic 8 Pro Air also appear to pull from the rest of the iPhone 17 series. So, and honestly, from the front, it looks more like Samsung's Galaxy S25 Edge than anything Honor's released in recent years. Well, design aside, its spec sheets looks to be impressive as they say. A 6.31-inch QHD plus AMOLED display that apparently tops out at a whopping 6,000 nits of peak brightness, a main 50 megapixel 1.3-inch Asphere f1.6 sensor in the sense of the size, 80-watt wide charging paired with 50-watt wireless. Well, it does look good, really. So, aside from their opinions, the Honor Magic 8 Pro Air also comes in black, purple, and white, and it starts at 4,999 Chinese yuan, or if you convert that to the US dollars, that's gonna cost you $717 US. It will be available in China starting on January 23rd. Now, I want to see their thought because my goodness, the design is very iPhone. It is. The design is very iPhone, guys. So, audiences, what do you say about the Honor Magic 8 Pro Air? Because obviously, the design choice is very iPhone Air. So, Discord audiences, what are your thoughts on that? And to those who are watching on our live stream or replay, let us know in the comment section down below. What do you think? Alright, so Torre Sir said copycats being copycats, I guess. Yeah, you can obviously tell it is a blunted copy. Yeah, you can tell it is it's a full blunted copy right here. Yeah. It's a full blunted copy. All right, Leon said, to be honest, the iPhone design is too overrated. Yeah, I agree. It's starting to become a point where it gets really annoying for some, which is why some are gonna be like, come on, why are they saying this? But yeah. This is not what I was expecting coming from Honor brand, because again, they're known for its good phone designs, but with this phone, it's a full-blooded copy. And come on, bro, come on, guys, come on. Can we at least be more original on that? That's what Teresa said. I agree. We should be more original on the phone designs and not try to copy. But again, the specs on paper looks pretty good, but the design is really a copy of iPhone Air. Like, jeez. They really need to stop copying, man. And yeah, bring back thick, durable phones. I truly agree with what he's saying, because I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest, guys, because the 10 phones might not last that long, because the main concern is the durability. I'm sure people is gonna be like, oh yeah, I like 10 phones because it fits my interest, or I should say it fits the aesthetic. Yeah, sure, you do whatever you want if you are interested, but the main concern, as I said, is the durability. But yeah, you get what I mean. So yeah. Now let's move on to another one, and let's see what else do we have here in my private server that I can talk about right there. I'm not sure if this category belongs to Gaming Cafe, but whatever, because this is still a tech anyway, and it does look like that Xbox Cloud Gaming is definitely going to have its ad-supported tier coming later this year. So this was first reported by Windows Central, and we're gonna be reading to you from 9to5 Google. So as reported by Windows Central, gamers utilizing Microsoft's cloud gaming platform have spotted new messages while launching the platform, specifically calling out 1 hour of ad-supported playtime per session. While its current appearance is an obvious error, Microsoft has yet to launch any ad-supported tier. It certainly points to growing evidence of more subscription changes coming to Xbox Cloud Gaming in the coming months. Windows Central's own insiders were able to confirm that an ad-supported plan is in the works for later in 2026, which is this year. So it's a change that makes plenty of sense for Xbox, which has failed to find as much consistent success as rival Sony or Nintendo in gaming since the days of the 7th gen consoles, and even then the Xbox 360 eventually fell to 3rd place within that generation despite an early lead ahead of the PS3. with memory, storage, GPUs, and seemingly any other basic component potentially needed by AI companies, including Microsoft, quickly rising prices across practically every consumer electronic, it's easy to see why Xbox Cloud Gaming could serve as a more affordable path for some gamers, even with some pretty obvious trade-offs. Now, the Xbox Cloud Gaming wouldn't be the first cloud platform to add a free tier. NVIDIA's GeForce Now currently gives its users an ad-supported hour of 1080p gaming at absolute no cost. It's unclear whether Microsoft would follow suit on delivering something for free, or if this would be closer in line with TV streaming options where ad-supported tiers are only subsidized. While there's sure plenty of gamers don't feel completely comfortable with the idea of giving up on own hardware altogether, which can be said the same for me. This could give more casual players a way to dip their toes into current gen titles, all without needing to drop $500 or more on an Xbox. Well, I hate to say this, I am absolutely not a fan of Microsoft or Xbox bringing its ad-supported tier to cloud gaming, but why are they doing this? Again, they are looking for more ways to maximize their revenue, which is why. So, I'm not surprised, guys. I'm not surprised. I mean, I would, if I were you, I would just go back playing old games. Go back to the good old times where ads are not. Okay. Mr. Nattel's doing God's works, huh? That's what Rory said. That's why I laugh. This is why I'm laughing. Oh my gosh. Anyway, sorry. Back to the topic. So, I'm not surprised that Microsoft is looking for ways to maximize their revenue and shuffling ads into a cloud gaming. My God. If I were you, I would just play games that don't have ads. I can even get my Nintendo Switch right now and play Animal Crossing. No ads, right? No ads, no adverts, right? Isn't that cool? I could just play Animal Crossing New Horizons all day. No advertisements. Is it that easy? I could just do that. Or heck, I don't think I mean not all and for the gacha games, I think not all have ads, but I would rather just sit down and play. If I have a capable phone, I would just sit down and play Blue Archive or whatever the game is right there. Or heck, if I wanted to play a AAA game or indie game, I would play Hades. So I would not be wasting my time on looking at advertisements on their cloud gaming service if ever they're going to be releasing later this year. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. So now let's move on to the next topic and let's see what else we have here. Once again, we are live on Cool FM and AspRedia, as well as on social media platforms with its Facebook page, TGON Cool FM Manila, and of course our own YouTube channel, that is Asphere's Cafe AspMedia. And time check is 7:21 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, and we are less than 9 minutes before 7:30. And again, we are not at 9:30 a.m. time zone anymore for TVH, so I might not greet goodbye this time because I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the TGON radio block would allow any show to last. So I would say that my show will be going full to our mode on TVH by then. But yeah. Now let's talk about the Opera GX. So this is coming from Windows Central, and it raises a lot of questions about whether Windows is losing its grip on PC gaming. So as you are aware, Opera GX is coming to Steam Deck and Linux distros, so which is set to arrive later this year. So Linux adoption has been steadily rising as frustration grows around Microsoft's push to embed AI deeper into Windows, and that is true because Microsoft is added again. So that shift has helped drive strong growth for several Linux distributions, including Zorin OS, which has now passed 2 million installations, with more than a third of new users coming from Windows. And heck, if I can show it to you right now by going to my YouTube page, and you can see my feed is full of Linux videos, like saying, hey, you should move to Linux. Don't stay with Windows. Windows sucks. I mean, it's pretty understandable that people are frustrated with Windows 11 again because of all of the AI slop. Understandable. Heck, I even see a video. Windows keeps getting worse. Is the next answer? I'm not gonna watch that. It's up. It's for you to decide on that. There are so many questions right there. You should not use there are so many people saying you should not use Windows. You should not use Windows. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I even understand the concerns people that Microsoft should not shuffle AI altogether, and it's their fault. It's Microsoft's fault for doing it, and yet you can see people are already moving for Windows. Yeah, I respect Linux users. I respect newcomers moving from Windows to Linux, but again, they really need to learn the lesson and why people should not, or why Microsoft or any big tech company should not force AI, right? You can see this is an example. People are really tired of Windows. People are watching videos, or heck, even Sec of all tech, or watching, heck, even Sec of tech made plenty of Linux-related videos, showing people how to move forward from Windows to any Linux to show. You can check his channel out if you're interested. But yeah, so now that achievement is there, Opera GX has confirmed via post on X that it's actively working on the native Linux version of its browser, which of course will bring the browser to the Steam Deck. So it marks yet another notable step forward for Linux gamers and power users alike. So what can Linux users expect from Opera GX? Well, for those unfamiliar with Opera GX, the browser offers a wide range of gaming-focused tools. These include the ability to manage RAM, CPU, and network usage, alongside built-in Discord and Twitch integration. While it is clearly aimed at gamers, Opera GX still works well as an everyday browser. As someone who avoids Chrome and currently uses Edge, which is used by the author Adam Hallis, the increasing push around Copilot has made them reconsidering that choice. A Linux version of Opera GX, or even a switch to something like Brave, is becoming a far more appealing option. Well, for me, I use Vivaldi as my main browser. I did used to use Brave as my main browser. I did used to use Microsoft Edge as my main browser. Chrome way back long time ago until we completely moved away from Chrome to Microsoft Edge, and eventually from Edge to Brave. And now I'm using Vivaldi. It's always a good time to hop browsers, huh? So we may not have to wait long for Opera GX to land on Linux, as it has also announced a first quarter of 2026 release window for the browser. So the announcement arrived in typical Opera GX fashion, appearing as a quote repost of a post discussing Microsoft's plan to integrate Copilot directly into File Explorer on Windows 11. It created a clear contrast with Microsoft's direction for Windows, particularly as more AI features continue to be introduced across the operating system. And you all didn't forget, right? Because if you recall that Microsoft did say, or the Windows CEO did say, that the Windows 11 is transitioning into agentic AI. Yeah, and of course it backfired. So if you didn't know much, I'll just show it to you again in case you forgot. So this is around 2 months ago. I think I did talk about that on my show, but as you can see, Microsoft details how Windows 11 becomes an agentic OS, blah 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 blah, because CEO made it clear that they want to turn Windows 11 into an agentic OS, and people will be like, yeah, screw that, nope. So for decades, Microsoft's OS has been the default home for PC gamers, but more moves like this show momentum building elsewhere. Now, whether Linux becomes a true alternative or simply a niche with better tools, the message is clear. Windows' monopoly on gaming attention is no longer absolute, and the cracks are starting to show. So you can see more and more are already moving over to Linux, especially Zorin OS reaching 2 million downloads. Yeah, it's a sign. It's slowly becoming a sign where people are finally moving away from Windows. And honestly, I'm looking forward to that downfall I'm sorry, but I'm actually looking forward to a downfall. So, well, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen, because because um you know, Microsoft Microsoft's recent decisions on Windows has not been sitting well with user fan base, and this is exactly what happens. Haha, this is what they got, and now Opera GX is being clear in having its native Linux version soon. That is this quarter. Okay, so before I continue with our tech cafe, there are some updates for those who are expecting with other shows later. So let's start with La Noche del Martes, and Angelo did announce that the show will be on replay mode later after my show, and that is because he will need to be focusing on its research. So he will be back he will be back by next week. So no La Noche del Martes this week. And same can also be said for Salita Namasanas, because he is also going to be putting his show on replay this Thursday. So yeah, and the reasons that he will need to not that he will that he will be focusing on its first quarterly exam that is by this Thursday. So well, no Salita Namasanas or speak to Manzanas this Thursday as well. So to recap, La Noche de Martes and La Noche de Martes. Sorry, what? Okay, so to recap, La Noche de Martes and Salita Namasanas will be going on replay mode. Will be going on replay this Tuesday, that's today, and Thursday. So no fresh episodes for both shows later. So after my show, you'll be hearing a replay of La Noche del Martes. All right, so back to my show's topic now. Let's continue with another one, and let's see what else we have here. All right, so continuing here, it looks like Threads has managed to overtake X on mobile, but it's still lagging far behind. So this is coming from The Verge. After launching almost 3 years ago, Meta's Threads is now reportedly attracting more daily mobile users than rival platform X. According to similar web data shared by TechCrunch, Threads has 141.5 million daily active iOS and Android global app users as of January 7th, compared to 125 million users for Elon Musk's mobile platform. Similar web reports that Threads actually overtook X sometime between late October and early November after a consistent period of growth, meaning this milestone wasn't suddenly achieved in reaction to recent group-related controversies. X still has some more mobile users than Threads in the US, according to SimilarWeb, but notes that Threads is catching up and that X has half as many daily active mobile users in the US now as it did last year. Well, web traffic is another story, however. As of January 13, X was attracting 145.4 million daily web visitors compared to just 8.5 million on Threads. Meta may have won the mobile battle according to these new estimates, but with only 150 million daily users combined, it has an uphill struggle to catch up with X more than 270 million. So if you look very closely at the charts, yeah, you could see that Threads is overtaking X, and well, it's going to be head to head, huh? Now let's see the comments over on The Verge. Let's read one of them first. So, Buddhist Void said, I have been following the NFL playoff games with the commentators and others on Blue Sky, and it's all I need. It's no longer a horse race, just pick what works for you. Interesting. BB, who is the Verge subscriber, said, Threads seems dedicated to showing me the worst posts I have ever seen on a daily basis. Maybe I'm abnormal, but on Blue Sky I never look at the Discover feed. Sure, it took some work to build up a chronological feed that I'm happy with, but the active curation is worth the effort relative to seeing engagement bait. Verge _user _ M4 LCN said Blue Sky really fumbled this one. No one really wanted Meta to be the successor. If they were faster to scale, they would have been the favorite choice. And another user replied, It's sad they really couldn't cope with demand, so the app remained invite only way longer than it should. Another said, it's not that, it's the algorithm. Blue Sky has a poor one, but honestly, Threads algorithm is awful as well. Well, there are some arguments that we can break down here. IL Licha said, predicted it a while ago. Threads will eventually become what Twitter was 5 years ago. Sure, it would scrap its user base from Instagram, but the app is hitting critical mass in a way no other competitor seems to be able to. If I remember correctly, Threads onboards an entire Blue Sky worth of new users per day. It's insane! Yeah, there you have it, guys. So that's the comments that we just read. And now, over to you, Discord audiences. What are your thoughts on Threads overtaking X? And to our live stream viewers and the replay viewers, let us know in the comment section down below. So let's start with the Discord audience. What do you say about Threads overtaking X? Yes, Threads owned by Instagram or Meta. Right, no. So this looks like no one is interested in giving their thoughts. So, all right, fair enough. Let's move on to the next one, and let's see what else we have here. All right, well, it's a little bit slow news, but we do have some Spotify news that we can talk about. So yes, this is once again coming from The Verge, and I need to check if it's a paywall. So if you can give me a moment or two. Luckily, it's not asking me for a paywall, so we will go ahead and read this article for you guys. So it looks like Spotify is appearing. It looks like Spotify is working on a novel feature that will allow audiobook listeners to pick up where they left off in the physical book. Android Authority reports that version 9.1.18.282 of the Spotify app includes code references to a page match beta feature that can quickly sync audiobooks on the platform with their paper and ebook counterparts. Using page match will require users to unlock or purchase the audiobook on Spotify and own either the paper or ebook version of the same book. The feature works by scanning the page you are currently reading with your device camera, using optical character recognition to identify passages that are then matched to specific timestamps in the audiobook. The aim is to spare you from having to fast forward and rewind manually, but it seems page match could also work in reverse. Code snippets suggest that Spotify will also display the page number that corresponds to your current audiobook position, making it easier for bibliophiles to quickly jump between listening and physical reading. This is backed up by Spotify's own description of the feature, which can match your progress from the book page to the audiobook and back again. Page numbers can vary by book edition, however, which could cause some complications. Spotify has yet to announce page match, so there's no guarantee that it will roll out publicly. The OCR for page match also isn't always reliable, with Android Authority reporting that Spotify will ask you to scan a nearby page if it's unable to identify the passage you're reading. So there you go. So this is interesting that they're testing a feature. They're testing on something that can work with paper editions of the audiobook. So what are your thoughts on that? With Spotify's upcoming feature? Okay, so well, it does look like it is a little bit of some slow news, and well, we have another OpenAI to talk about, and this just came in to us from Windows Central. So let's give it a read right here. And so we're gonna be talking about OpenAI again, and here we are. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so this is going to be a wild ride for OpenAI. So OpenAI might torch $14 billion in 2026, hitting bankruptcy by next year. Oh dear, burning through what's of cash, and can it keep its operations afloat? Now, this is what we need to discuss. So this is coming from Windows Central. OpenAI is arguably one of the most sought after AI research labs, primarily because of ChatGPT. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella argues that the firm had a 2-year lead to develop ChatGPT uncontested, which uniquely positioned the company to succeed in the ever-evolving landscape. Everything might look good on paper, but OpenAI is reportedly burning through vast amounts of cash to keep up with sophisticated AI advances while simultaneously attempting to maintain a healthy lead over its competitors. This is amid a plethora of challenges, including user backlash for integrating ads into ChatGPT. Once again, I did talk about this on my show yesterday, so go watch my previous episode if you haven't. The core battle it's embroiled with Elon Musk over its for-profit restructure and ill-gotten gains, a lack of high-quality content for model training, among many other issues. So, as it happens, cash flow continues to be a pain in OpenAI's neck, with multiple reports suggesting that the company might be biting a little more than it can chew in terms of its spending on AI development. The report suggests that the ChatGPT maker could make a $14 billion loss in 2026. That's a hefty amount, guys. That is hefty amount. $14 billion loss. If they can make $14 billion loss by this year, that is going to be a hefty amount for them. And that is all primarily driven by infrastructure expansion, model training, research hiring, and compute costs. Again, what I mean infrastructure expansion is, of course, demanding more RAM. That's why that's why we are witnessing RAM shortages right now. So late last year, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman expressed his frustrations over the AI bubble talk, dismissing concerns about the firm's exorbitant spending on sophisticated projects to keep up with the AI hype. Now you know, because people are already turning back on AI and be like, yeah, screw this, I don't like AI, and AI shouldn't ever exist. And people are going to be like, yeah, pop the AI bubble. No one wants this, okay? No one wants this. Yeah, look at you all, Sam Altman. That's what happens. You reap what you sow. While OpenAI reportedly generates up to $30 billion in revenue annually from ChatGPT and large language model access fees, the firm spends up to $1.4 billion on computing. Now, it's unclear whether the injection of ads into ChatGPT's user experience will help bridge this gap. Now, this is what I'm going to be predicting, because as we all know, that I talked about it yesterday, they are indeed bringing ads to ChatGPT, and of course, it backfired. So whether you like it or not, you will see ads, and if you subscribe to ChatGPT Go subscription, you will still see ads either way. So don't act too surprised if you see ads on your paid subscription involving Go plan. Don't be too surprised, huh? Don't blame me. Don't be too surprised, huh? Because it's on you. If you want to use ChatGPT, yeah, it's on you. And if you don't want to see ads, no choice, but you have to go with the higher tier plans if you want to keep using ChatGPT with no ads, because now that they're really on red alert and they are looking ways to put ads and piss people off. Right. However, Sam Altman claims OpenAI's revenue is growing steeply, further highlighting that the company expects the demand across its consumer and enterprise businesses, including ChatGPT and future hardware development, to see a surge in demand. Perhaps more interestingly, Sam Altman indicated that he expects OpenAI's revenue to exponentially surge to $100 billion by 2027. But a report from Tom's Hardware seemingly disputes Sam Altman's claims, suggesting that OpenAI could completely run out of cash by mid-2027. So we all saw that coming, huh? We all saw that coming, and whatever happens to OpenAI, it remains to be unseen. And how are they going to keep the company afloat? Because they all started this phenomenal hype train, and now they're burning dollars each day. So who knows if ChatGPT will last long, especially other AI companies as well. You have I forgot already, but you have Copilot, you have oh my gosh. Yeah, I keep forgetting who this. Okay, so aside from OpenAI and Microsoft's Copilot, who else are the AI companies? Because as Windows Central pointed out, they do not think that OpenAI can stay long. So good luck with that. If you're good luck with that, huh? Good luck with that. So, yeah, there you go. You have Anthropic, you have OpenAI, you have XAI, all of the other yeah, you have Anthropic, yes, Anthropic, all other AI companies are listed there, even DeepSeek. Yeah, who knows if OpenAI would be around by in the next few years, and eventually they will discontinue services. What now, right? What will be the what? How will the world look like without OpenAI? So, a separate report from last year suggested that the AI firm is projected to make an $8 billion loss in 2025, which could potentially rise to $40 billion by 2028. Sebastian Malaby, an economist at the Council on Foreign Relations, says that even if OpenAI changes its strategy and even caters to some of its financial woes using its overvalued shares, it won't be able to wiggle out of this difficult situation easily. And that is true because, again, they're making lots of money, and then now they're losing because of how they are doing. So, well, it's going to be a tough situation for OpenAI if they want to stay afloat. They need to look for really good ways to, or really better solution to keep them alive. So to that end, OpenAI might need another round of funding, raising funds from its investors to keep its operation afloat, which is very likely. At the same time, it also needs to establish a clear path to profitability in the elusive landscape to secure funding as investor interest begins to wane. Yeah, you heard that right. Investor interest begins to wane. You know what does that mean? Slowly losing interest, and they be like, yeah, yeah. What happened to the company that I used to expect? This is not what I was expecting anymore. So, there you go. That is some analysis and my thoughts on that's my analysis and thoughts on the OpenAI. And well, Discord audiences, I want to hear from you. Do you think OpenAI will be afloat for long, or will they go into bankruptcy? That's what I would like to know. Share your thoughts in the chat, and to the live stream viewers and replay viewers, let us know in the comment section down below. Do you think OpenAI will stay afloat for longer, or will they go bankrupt? Okay, it is now 7:47 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, and we still have a lot of tech topics to cover. And yes, this is going to be our last commercial break for tonight. So don't go anywhere. We will have more. We will still have plenty of topics to talk about, and of course, I'll be browsing through Reddit on what's happening in tech, and of course, I'll be reading some of the subreddit posts, especially r/internetph and other tech related communities as well. So in the meantime, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on Cool FM and AspRadio. So stay along with us. We'll be right back. Yes, we are still around. It is now 7:58 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, and we are at the last gap of the show. And now it is time for me to browse over the Reddit, because why not? So let's head over to the Reddit and let's see what's going on there. So let's get my screen share up. Okay, so here what you're seeing is my Reddit front page. So I'll be scrolling down to see what's interesting right here. Let me just zooming in so I can see it loud here. Okay, so this is a first question coming from r/internetph. I need help for better ways to connect my computer to Wi-Fi. So this is what they said. Currently using a random wireless adapter I got on Shopee years ago. Works, but sometimes cuts out or slows down, and it doesn't get as much Mbps compared to my other gadgets. Ethernet cable is not an option because it's too far from my router to my room, and will make a big mess within the house. I have been considering getting power line adapters, maybe, although I'm not sure which brand, if this is the best solution. Okay, so I will say this to that. I suggest you get Wi-Fi mesh, because if you have plenty of rooms, I suggest getting a Wi-Fi mesh. So yeah, you need a Wi-Fi mesh so it can improve your wireless coverage. So now for the questions coming from that Reddit user. What is your current single strength of your Wi-Fi in your room, of your room on your phone? How much are you willing to spend for an entire setup? How far is the router from your room? Okay, so this is what he said. Usually between 300 to 400 Mbps, sometimes below to 200 to 250. Not sure, but why? But it often happens if I download huge files. Depends on how good of a solution it is. Give or take 20 meters directly from the router in the living room to my room. Okay, so that's what he said. Now this is what he said. Point 1, your Wi-Fi adapter. I guess you could try buying one of those Wi-Fi cards directly, insert directly to your PCIe slot if you still have one available in your computer. Those have better radios on them, which could mean better stability. I have installed the commentator installed a TP-Link Archer TX20E on his, and it gets good reception, but not as far as your room to the router. All right, so point 2. Your other option is range extender or access point. So again, as I have suggested before, get a Wi-Fi mesh if your room is too far and if your Wi-Fi isn't getting that good speeds. Yeah, I just suggest buying a Wi-Fi mesh, because this can greatly improve your Wi-Fi strength, and it can improve your connectivity. But again, speeds may vary, because if you rely on wireless haul, you will not get the same internet speeds. It's going to be varying internet speed, and it really depends on what internet speeds you have. It may vary. Yeah, it may vary. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question to what I just answered to that. So let's move on to next one. Okay, so next one here in r/converge ph. Anyone still experiencing packet loss with converge? Okay, so I cannot answer that because I have a different internet service provider, which is InfiniBand. That is what I use, and unfortunately, I cannot say if I'm having the same issue. But let's read what Melodic Asphere said. It's been 2 weeks already since I posted about the packet loss. I already tried a lot of troubleshooting, from checking and switching Ethernet cables and changing DNS to getting VPN, configuring MTUs, but nothing so far. I'm assuming Converge is the issue. I just hope I get a free Asus router from. Well, then they ask a question: would buying a third-party router fix this issue? No, this is a funny answer. Getting a new ISP would fix the issue too. So again, that really depends on your internet service provider. I cannot say the same for each of your internet experience, because it may vary. It really varies, ladies and gentlemen. It really varies. So if you want, but it's up to you. But yeah, again, about the ISP that I mentioned earlier. Yes, that ISP is only in select condominiums, and it's not available in regular homes just yet. But if you're looking forward to InfiniBand, then you should keep your eyes peeled on that. But so far, the internet service has been great. It has been very positive experience in my end, and I have no issues so far. So I highly recommend InfiniBand if you're in one of the condominiums that have InfiniBand um, fiber box there, or nut box. Yeah. All right. So there you go. Again, I cannot say the same for that question because I don't have Converge in my area, so I cannot answer that in the moment and for that. So I'll let the rest answer on that. So I would say yeah, leave it to them. Okay, another question. This time is from r/tech underscore Philippines. Torn between these two, can you help us decide Xiaomi or Deviant? Okay, so as I'm seeing here, this is running off Google TV. Same, but Debian is running on LG's WebOS operating system. Interesting. As you can see, it says powered by WebOS Hub. Now, for that one, I cannot answer because, but for the durability and longevity, I would suggest going with more expensive brands. But if your budget is really tight, I would recommend TCL or Xiaomi. That's all I can say. Yeah, there it is, TCL. I just said TCL. Oh my gosh, how did I even guess that here? All right, let's move on to another one. Okay, I guess we will be covering another headline, and looks like, according to Android headlines, OnePlus 16 may not make it to global markets, according to a rumor. So, this is coming from Android headlines. A truly concerning rumor regarding the OnePlus 16 has just popped up online. OnePlus Club reports that the OnePlus 16 may not get a global variant at all. It could be exclusive to China. So again, please take this with a grain of salt. It may not, it may be true, it may not, but take this with a grain of salt because this is not confirmed yet. But OnePlus Club picked up that rumor somewhere, but they cannot confirm it either. So it will be earth-shattering if true, but they're kind of skeptical, which I am as well. So it's true that OnePlus sales haven't exactly been great in general. The company is not holding a truly significant part of the market or anything like that. In fact, its sales are usually calculated under OPPOs. Still, OnePlus managed to become a recognized brand in various parts of the world, which it is, and it was previously a niche brand too, but now it is a mainstream company. Now, aside from OnePlus 16, we do know, not that we don't know, but aside from OnePlus 16 not making it to global markets at all, well, we do have Note 6 phones coming out. So, 2 OnePlus Note 6 smartphones are expected to arrive to global markets this year. Those are the only 2 products from the company that are more or less confirmed to arrive thanks to certifications. OnePlus, as many of you know, decided not to release the OnePlus Open 2. In fact, the company has no affordable smartphone plans for global markets at all, while Oppo does. Some users were hoping that the OnePlus 15T or 15S will make its way to markets outside of China and India as the company's compact flagship. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case either. In fact, it doesn't seem like that phone will make its way to India as well. It will be exclusive to China as is. So, if there's any truth to this rumor and the OnePlus 16 remains exclusive to China, that would basically mean the end of OnePlus operations in global markets. So, this is concerning, and I guess Toriso is right. The downfall of OnePlus needs to be examined. You were right, Toriso. I was not expecting for you to predict that, and you were right. OnePlus 16 may or may not make it to the global markets, and now you might be right. So, Doracer, if I may ask, and if you're still listening, I wanna hear your thoughts because as far as rumors are concerned, coming from Android headlines and unverified rumor that saying that OnePlus 16 may not be coming, or may not make it to its global operations. Well, what do we know about it, right? Well, this was bound to happen. Yup. Yup. Alright, so let Toricer continue speaking himself while I look for another one. But wait, again, as always, we're still live on Cool FM and AspRadio, and we will be here until 8:30 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. So, yeah, As I mentioned just now, we are live on Cool FM and AspRedia, as well as on social media platforms on Facebook via TGON Cool FM Manila, and of course our own YouTube channel, that is Asphere's Cafe AspMedia. Now, Racer said, when I said the download has yet to be examined, I didn't expect this to go. Hey, so we're releasing this one in China only. So if you're expecting a global release, you can suck it. Well, yeah, pretty much. Torres has some more to say. Also, the CEO is going to jail from what? Wait, really? Wait a minute, really? Let me Google. Let me just search it up. Is that true? Is that true, Racer? I have yet to verify this myself. Oh my gosh, if this is true, my goodness. So yeah, that CEO is Pate Liu. Oh my gosh, you are right. Taiwan issues arrest warrant for OnePlus CEO and crackdown for tech talent poaching. Yikes! Yikes! You're right. Oh my gosh, you are right. Oh my god, I wonder why. So, well, I guess that has something to do with illegal recruiting, if I'm not mistaken. And this has been around since 2014. Jesus. And now Taiwanese is catching up. Dang. Dang. Yeah, they're going to jail. And I guess this is the shocking outcome. Maybe. Yikes. Not good. Not good for OnePlus. Well, we will continue to examine what's with the downfall of OnePlus. So I'll keep my eyes peeled on that as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's move on to back to Reddit and let's head over to r/Chromecast. So it sounds like that if you have a Chromecast Ultra or any 2080 models of Chromecast, it does look like that YouTube has ditched the access of YouTube for TV homepage. So if you see this, you only get to see ready to cast. So if you're still using the older Chromecast that is not Google Chromecast with Google TV or Google TV streamer, yeah, too bad, you're gonna be stuck with this. So let's see what the comments say. Yep, they're keeping it separate now. Looks like it's a time for alternative client for you. Well, I'm sorry, Downtown. OP is using outdated Chromecast and he's not using Google TV. You're wrong. All right, so let's continue. What else we have here? What the heck is going on my YouTube feed? And this is what they say. Oh, yeah, this is pretty random. Well, I don't care. Let's move on. So, let's see what else I can talk about. Okay, archiving old apps. Yes, this is interesting. This is the topic I want to talk about. Archiving old apps. So this OP got an iPhone 5. Judging with its home screen, they have the good old Google Maps app, which is based on material design at the time. The weather channel. If we go to next, you have the good old Angry Birds, Pet Piggies, Catorope, Doodle Jump, Flappy Bird. Hey, Flappy Bird, huh? Fun Run 2, never heard of that. Geekbench, Google. Yeah, that good old Google. How the days were gone. I miss the old Google, that with the good old G logo. Google Drive, the early days of Google Drive. Hulu, which was called Hulu Plus back then. Infinity Play 2, I think I have remembered that game before, but I never played it. That good old Instagram, Kinetic Balls, Logos Quiz. Oh, beautiful! That good old Messenger. Minecraft Pocket Edition, and which nowadays is called Minecraft on mobile. My Verizon, Netflix, which does not say the N logo, which does not have the N logo, but the full Netflix type font. Oh my balls! Two Pac-Man apps, one being full, one being light. Paper Toss. Yes, I'm gonna say this about Paper Toss. I remember playing Paper Toss on my iPod Touch way back. Plague Incorporated, Podcast, Party Racers, Rolling Sky, Shazam. This was way back before Apple owned Shazam. Sunday Temple Run. Oh my god, Temple Run. Tinder, Traffic Rush, Translate, The Weather Channel, another The Weather Channel, Twitter, that good old Zoom, and the jailbreak apps, and of course the good old fashioned YouTube app as well. Jesus Christ, you all have the peak apps, guys. Dang, dump everything. So the OP clarified they downloaded apps legitimately. They didn't pirate it when they were still a kid. Infinity played. Oh yeah, I have heard of the game before. It's true. I would die to play Infinity Blade 2 again. Yeah, I'll talk about this on Gaming Cafe this Thursday, and I wanna say the memory lane to what Infinity Lane is. But man, it's good. I feel old seeing the Infinity Blade icon. Alright, let's move on to another Reddit post. I'm scrolling here. Should I cable manage this? Should I cable manage this? Yes, you should, because it looks very messy, and you have a server rack, so you need to at least arrange your cables, because good thing at the very least you have a server rack. So why are you not bothering to do the cable management? You should. It's really messy, what I'm seeing in the image right there. It's very messy, but you should do a cable manage. You have to do cable management because you have a rack. So hey, at least you have a rack, so that's a good thing. But still, you need to manage your cables. And looking at this is pretty vacant. Ugh, it's messy. The cables is pretty messy. You need to keep it tidy so people don't get tripped over. And yeah, I guess that is everything I can give my thoughts on. All right, let's move on to another one. I guess I can. Alright, are we looking at software gore now? Oh my gosh, we are looking at software gore. Guess I can download the whole internet and look at this. 16,384 petabytes. Jeez, that's a lot. But again, this is just a gore. Yeah, peta. Okay, yeah. German tech is made differently, and it's still not enough for it. Alright, moving on. Let's move on. I should talk about this on Thursday. I'm gonna save it so I don't forget. Well, let's look at the Windscribe. They seem to be trying to push people to pay extra for port forwarding. Well, I cannot blame Windscribe for doing this, but there are still people complaining. And this is according to Sukipe7. I am on an IPv4 via IPv6 service, which apparently limits me to what ports I can forward to on my router. Okay, and then this is what Evonos said: don't open the port in the router. The entire point of a VPN is the end-to-end encrypted tunnel. If your router would be able to see it, it would be short, Just put this port into your programs, likely peer-to-peer, what you try, right? That's it. So I agree. I agree. That's all what he needs to say. Yeah, unless it's necessary, don't open the ports unless this is absolute necessary. If you don't have any ports to open, don't even bother trying. It's not gonna be worth the risk, and it may contribute to a risk, which is why Philippine internet service providers are using CGNet, which restricts people from having a good net type, and I guess that's why. We joined the Samsung fam yesterday after a beef episode with OnePlus. Okay, I need to head over to r/Galaxy A56 in a bit, but we have Gain and Angel. r/iSwipe. Okay, so let's head over to the original post. I wonder why they were having a bad time with OnePlus. Let me see the context. There it is. Rejoined the Samsung fam yesterday after our beef episode with OnePlus. Again, I wonder why. One UI, so he once used to be a Samsung fan and they switched to OnePlus, citing One UI 5 made me dislike the experience. But wow, One UI 7 is so much better so far. Good for you, man. Good for you. And this is and someone asked, what made you switch back? First, the fact that security updates are going out in April for my OnePlus and I use mobile banking, so that's a no-go. And second, I would rather avoid Chinese spyware as much as possible. I mean, it's pretty fair. It is pretty fair. I prefer to say, yeah, fair enough. Yep, fair enough. Okay, so let's move on to back to home feed. New gaming tablet in the Philippines, and that is Red Magic Astra. So if you're wondering how it looks, this is how the tablet looks like. Honestly, the design wise looks pretty typical. And now, and as for the specs itself, it has 9.06 inch, 165 hertz, 2.4K OLED screen. Ooh, expensive tech, huh? Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, Redcore R3 Pro custom gaming chip, 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, enhanced ICE-X cooling system, 20K RPM fan, 8,200 mAh battery, USB-C charging, 1620 stereo speakers, and the pricing here in the Philippines is 36,000 pesos. So I'd say this will position to be high-end, not technically high-end, but more like a mid-range tablet in my opinion. Once again, Buy European is trending. You can see Vivaldi is made in Europe, which is the browser I'm using right now. That is the browser I'm exactly using right now. Vivaldi to the Noda, I don't know. What is this? I forgot what's this. Mastodon, Ecosia, Movat. I forgot the rest. But they have their blog posts in their to the website. So European alternatives, you have to the Mail, to the Calendar, Vivaldi, exactly the browser I'm using right now, Ecosia, Q1, Trima, and then you have all the good stuff there. Masterton, PixelFed, Fairphone from the Netherlands. Oh, interesting. So Fairphone was originated from Netherlands. Now that I have learned. Jola-phone from Finland. Obviously, I know that. EOS from France. Well, yeah. And then they have their explanation on why people are boycotting American products. It's because Google's monopoly and pretty much. And yeah, it's really shocking, huh? If we look very closely, it really shows a sign that people are already flocking to alternatives. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. There's so many alternatives to go for. Okay, so Trima, Element X, and okay. I remember now. I remember. That's Element. Gotcha. All right, that's Element. I remember now. All right. Like Europe isn't pushing. Okay, so the internet board just commented like Europe isn't pushing for child control. I get the trend. America and China sucks privacy-wise, but let's not pretend European companies are all saints and don't use our data. Proceed cautiously. Yeah, exactly. You cannot trust anyone. Okay, where to print gold time card in my area? Okay, so this OP is based in Camarines Norte. And well, if you want to print the physical card of code time card, you will have to find one that is under Robinsons. Oh wait! Oh wait, they do have a code time chaos in SM stores. Interesting. Okay, interesting. I have never heard of that. Interesting. Oh, interesting. You have a free subscription to View Premium if you if you join a giveaway. Interesting. Okay, I think my time is up, so I will now be turning off my screen sharing as we will be wrapping up soon. It is now a minute past, sorry, not past. It is now a minute before 8:30 p.m. and I would like to say thank you so much for stopping by to our cafe. It's been a pleasure once again to serve you the latest tech in all of the latest tech. So yeah, and with that, I would like to give a shout out to all of you, like Reggie Jr., to Racer, and just an original user for joining our cafe. So shout out to you all for joining. And yeah, with that, that brings us to the end of Asphere's Cafe. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back again tomorrow with an anime and Japanese pop culture. Right here on Asphere's Cafe. So join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on Cool FM and As Radio. This has been Asphere's Cafe. I am Cairo, and the cafe is now closed. We will be seeing you tomorrow, and coming up next on Cool FM DCX SF Radio and As Radio, it's going to be the replay of La Noche del Martes, since the show is on replay because the host is taking an exam by then. So yeah, till next time. The cafe is over. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Asphere's Cafe has served its last coffee for the night. Produced by AspMedia and TGON